the king of kings, my man Gary, the king of Pokemon, who got the craziest Charizard collection. Gary, nice to meet you, my man.
Good to meet you, Terry.
How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me on here.
No, definitely, man. Thank you for the opportunity and stuff like that. I just want to ask you a couple quick questions, and of course, how are you enjoying yourself here at Collectacon?
Well, I always love the Collectacons. You know, I get to see all my old friends, make tons of new friends, and you'll be seeing today, this place is monstrous. So, and a lot of new vendors from New Jersey, New York. So I just love these. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I want to ask you a quick question. You know, a little history. You know, you've been, you got real known from the Logan Paul deal you made. Logan Paul actually went to reach to you to get the special PSA 10 Charizard first edition from your collection. You have multiple Charizards from your years of collecting. Give us a little history from the people at home that probably don't know much about you. Give a little history. How you got into Pokemon? How did it start? What got you into like holding on to your collection for past 25 years? Like what got you to hold on to it to this day? And how did it came about?
Well, it started for me back in 1998. I helped bring Pokemon to the United States. It was the Japanese sets, the CD promos and that, and then it got over here and absolutely exploded. And then they fired me, Media Factory in Japan, because they didn't need me anymore. And that, so you know. But by then, my sons were, everybody was into it back, like you might remember back then. So I just kept collecting and being a little bit older and having money and not having to buy, sell, trade, I just kept everything. And of course, like you know, today, those values have just gone absolutely way up, you know, just by chance. A lot of people ask me, well, how did you know, Gary? I didn't know. I've been collecting since I was born in 1954. I've been collecting since 1959. And I have all those collections going back, and 95% are worth nothing. But it doesn't matter, because that's what I love to do all those years, and you know, growing up and collecting with my kids. And so I was, you know, that's kind of how it all began back then. And Pokemon started off as a little business thing, and then turned into a hobby, and then turned into a passion. And I've been into that all these years since.
Wow, I love that you said that you're a collector first, most important than anything. You know, a lot of people who are getting into the collecting world, if not just in Pokemon and anything in sports and Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, people are, you know, collecting, trying to make a quick dollar, but you've been doing this for a good portion of your whole life, you know, collecting cards.
Oh, absolutely.
Outside of your Pokemon collection that everyone around the world knows you do have, what are other cards that you have to this day that are sentimental to you?
Well, sports cards from back in the 1960s. My two heroes in life were a left-handed pitcher, Sandy Koufax, and then the Dodger. I was born and raised in Southern California, and then Vince Scully, who was the baseball announcer in that. So my beginnings were all in sports in that, including football. We had season tickets to the Los Angeles Rams games, and so that's how my hobby started. But for me, I just started collecting everything. Cards, steins, science fiction magazines from the 1920s. I mean, more than we'd even have time for here, but just a whole lot. Pokemon was a natural for me because it was something I could share with the kids.
That's awesome, man. That's like very phenomenal that, you know, a lot of collectors normally who are into trading cards in general, nobody starts in sports and then transition to either Pokemon, either Marvel, Yu-Gi-Oh, wherever their interest is. And I mean, in today's market, the card industry is like phenomenal with all different platforms of cards, even down to Disney has their own trading cards now. Well, yes, exactly. So give us a little history. How did Logan Paul reach out to you? And he was being, you know, I saw he was very aggressive. He wanted to get that card from you. So how did he find you and knew about your collection? How did he did his homework on you like that just to find you?
Well, you know Steve Aoki?
Yes.
He's a DJ.
DJ, yes.
Well, he's a neighbor and friend. And Logan reached out to me through Steve. And then Steve got Logan in touch with me. And then he just wanted to come and see my collection. And so when he did, that's when it turned out he had ulterior motives. He wanted one of my two Becca 10 Charizards, first edition Charizards. but he found once he was there, he knew I would never give those up. So he went after the PSA 10 one. And in fact, there's a picture right there, Logan.
I see right there a picture of Logan. There's Steve also there.
And up here is Logan.
I saw the video online, and you was not giving in. Like it took he really worked to get you to give in to sell the card. I mean, he gave you a good number, and I think in your heart you felt like it was a great offer.
Well, to tell you the truth, it had nothing to do with the money in that, because I just wasn't going to ever sell anything because I didn't need to. But the way he looked into my eyes, I could see he was a real true fan. He has a big Squirtle on his thigh, tattooed on his thigh. So he was legit. And just had a weak moment, and I thought, you know what? I'll do it.
That's what's up. That's cool, man. I know a lot of people like bash Logan Paul, but I'm a big fan of him. What he's doing in the what he's did it with YouTube, especially in the Pokemon community. If anything, a lot of people should thank him for putting Pokemon kind of back on the map again during the pandemic and everything. He's one of the few people that got it going again, where people are coming out of retirement, bringing their collections out.
Well, let me tell you, that was in the back of my mind when he was trying to get a card. I knew him and his 20+ million followers would help the hobby. So that was in the back of my head, that I knew by selling him a card, it would be huge and it would help the hobby. And I've always had my attention on that too, from the beginning.
Well, that's actually a great mindset. If anything, we should thank you, because you're the reason you allowed that to happen. And you also gave him the opportunity to put that on his platform, that he showed that he made that deal. He was able to get that card,
right.
Probably one of the hardest cards in the world to get.
Yeah.
And so we thank you for that, for making it happen. And I love that I see online you're all over Collectacon, you're doing all these events, and like it's just cool that it's like you're giving back to the community. Anyone that wants to meet you, I wanted to meet you. As soon as I walked in, you're the first person I saw that I said, I got to do an interview with you. So it's an honor and a privilege to be sitting right next to a legend.
Well, it's kind of humbling and an honor that people even care anymore about the old man, so.
Hey man, you know what, man? It's like you gotta respect the OGs. You gotta respect the people who paved the way for younger generations and stuff like that, even younger than myself. So it's like, it's just cool, man. It's just cool, we don't, to see people as yourself doing this, and your family, man. You did it with your family and stuff. But I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the interview so much.
Sure. Thank you for asking me to do it.
No,
I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Thank you, man.